Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, both chambers of Congress are set to begin the non-stop canvassing of votes for President and Vice President today. Presumptive President Bongbong Marcos picks a Cavite lawmaker as his Justice Secretary. And now that he has accepted the offer of Marcos, what will be his priorities at the Justice Department? Cavite's 7th District Representative Boying Remulla joins us live. It's all systems go at the Batasan Pambansa in Quezon City, where the non-stop canvassing of votes for President and Vice President will take place. Congress aims to proclaim the new President and Vice President before the week ends. Ahead of the canvassing, Presumptive President Bongbong Marcos announces new nominations to his cabinet. And let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Cavite's 7th District Representative Boying Remulla. Congressman, it's good to see you again. Welcome back to the source and to the studio.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation.
Okay, I want to start with the canvassing of the votes first. So today, mag-uumpisa na po yung canvassing of votes for President and Vice President. You're part of the House contingent, right? The 7-member House contingent. And then there's a 7-member Senate contingent. What can we expect today?
Well, there are 179 returns, I think. 140 of them are automated and 39 are manual. The automated will come out. The copies will be compared to the printout and the hard copy, the result of from the VCMs, and then they will be canvassed that way. And because of the experience of automation, we expect this to go on smoothly, because all the objections will be pro forma.
What does that mean?
Meaning to say,
they need to write it?
There are standard objections that they put there, like the signatures do not appear to be the same, or anything to delay the proceedings, as the election lawyers get paid by the hour also. You know, so but there's no problem with the VCMs. It's more of the manual where there are more objections. Which
you said would be about 39.
39 manuals, yes.
Na COC.
Yes.
Do you foresee any other concerns or challenges with the canvassing of votes?
Wala masyado, not much. Because we wrote the rules that will be adopted today, so that we can also use video and electronic means for people to testify if necessary. Let's say...
Give me an example.
You need a board of canvassers coming from, let's say, Sorsogon. And there's a problem with the canvassing in Sorsogon because there's one signature lacking, or maybe there's something that does not appear correct. So they can be, before you would call them in, sometimes they used to hide for days before they would appear. But this time, video will be used, and the COMELEC made sure that they will be available on video, if not in the House.
So they would be made available today, tomorrow, until
the same day.
Habang nagpapatuloy ang canvassing, kailangan ready sila.
Yes, we may set it aside for a few minutes, but when they're ready on video,
tapos
tatawagan kagad sila.
I see.
And if there's no video, telepono, payag din. Pwede rin ang telepono.
How do you make sure that the person on the phone is actually the person?
It's the COMELEC calling them. We will not be the ones calling them. COMELEC will have their own way of knowing the authenticity of the people.
So how do you think, when ho ba talaga sa palagay ninyo, sa inyong estimate, mapoproclaim ang nanalong presidente at vice president?
Ang tingin ko, pwedeng by tomorrow night matapos to.
Ganun kabilis?
Yes. Because we expect all the automated returns to be canvassed today. We're hoping, because non-stop to non-stop. So kung 140 lang yan at pro forma lang objections, tapos kagad yan.
Hindi ho kayo magpapahinga? May substitutes naman kayo.
Meron kami alternates substitutes So probably I will leave for a few hours, 3 oras, babalik ako para to do my duty.
Is there a deliberate intent to finish this as soon as possible? Sinasadya niyo ho ba na tapusin ito sa lalong madaling panahon?
This is a case kasi where the mandate is overwhelming. And there's no question about who won the election. It's just a constitutional duty on our part to count the votes. If it's a very close fight, then the fireworks will be different. Talaga yung debate dyan, yung mga objections, mabibigat. Pero this way, this time, the elections came out very smoothly. By 11 o'clock, halos, we knew. In 3 hours after the polls closed, it was pretty obvious already. The trend was
Malaki
there
na yung
already.
lamang eh.
Malaki na yung lamang, di ba? Natatawa nga ako kasi nung araw, reklamo tayo ng reklamo, napakabagal ng bilang. Ngayon naman na mabilis, nagre-reklamo pa rin. Ba't sobrang bilis naman? Ano bang gusto ng tao, di ba? Gusto natin matapos kagad yan.
So, you're hoping by tomorrow night, ipoproclaim na po yung mga nanalo. So, dapat naka-standby.
Well, Thursday at the latest, no? I think. Hindi kami aabot ng Friday, the way it is.
Opo.
Yeah.
Okay, because, so, to answer again my question, please, is there a deliberate attempt to finish? Sinasadya niyo ho bang bilisan ito?
Hindi naman. Ano lang kasi, the system allows us to do our job more efficiently, less drama on the floor. So,
Okay.
it's more mechanical, more than anything.
So, tinanggap niyo na po yung alok sa inyo na maging Secretary of Justice, pero you are part of the 7-member panel of the House.
Yes.
Are you still going to sit as a member of the panel? Would that be some sort of conflict of interest as Justice Secretary of the incoming?
Exactly why I had to probably preempt the president-elect, because I want to make it clear, I want to make a full disclosure of any possible conflict of interest that may be perceived, because it's more of a mechanical piece of work here. Kasi computer generated, the lawyers have their turn to look at it, their watchers are there, the Senate President opens every VCM, every return. So, but I'm just making sure that even these things are not made into issues. Kasi,
So do you think it's an issue? If
hindi
you
naman,
stay
hindi
on?
naman, there's no...
So you'll stay on?
I'll be there, but probably I'm willing to give it up actually, but because of my duty as Senior Deputy Majority Leader, it's really in the nature of my job. It's my duty to lead that group. So, but I might just assign somebody else later to
Your substitute?
to
or
be my
alternate?
substitute, the alternates may be more active because I may step back so that there will be no malice being put into what we will be doing as a National Board of
So,
Canvassers.
backseat kayo, si alternate na lang siguro ang haharap.
Yes,
Just a
yes.
question, Congressman, so the House wrote the rules already for this?
And
hindi
the
ho
Senate,
ba?
and the Senate.
Hindi ba it was adopted by the Senate? The House wrote it and the Senate adopted it? Tama ho ba?
Hindi pa. Yes. But we will convene together today so
To
that
formally adopt the
formally,
rules, no?
as a joint session to formally adopt the rules.
Okay, our conversation, our source, Congressman Remulla, will still be with us after the break. We will be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Congressman Boying Remulla, and soon-to-be Secretary Remulla. Sir, sabi niyo po kahapon, ang dami na po nag-interview sa inyo. You were, I think, on Zoom as well. Sabi mo you didn't apply for the job.
I didn't.
But was there, meron ho bang hint whatsoever that,
None. Except probably that he always spoke to me when we were together. The rare times in the campaign we were together, always as we. Probably that was the only hint. And he said, I remember the first words he said. We were on the pickup. Nasa caravan kami. Sabi niya, nakita niyo talaga yung outpouring ng
Cavite
tao
mo
sa
ba to?
Cavite, no? Sabi niya, if we make it, if we win this, we cannot afford to fail. No? But we is also, as congressman, ganun din naman, di ba? And on the night of the counting, I think the body language was more there that
why were you at the headquarters?
I was at the counting for a while, and then
At the headquarters?
yes, at the headquarters, and we saw each other again, and we sat together again. Ganun lang. We've been doing this for the longest time. I mean, I met him. I met him a long time ago, but I really became close to him in 2007. We were in Congress together. Kaya nagkakilala na kami ng gusto nung panahon na yon. We traveled together, and we debated on the floor against each other. Yes.
Sino mas magaling?
Tay yun. Kasi actually, it was more for economic policy, yung debate namin. So, I remember, it was economic
So
policy.
nobody won, between the two of you?
Hindi,
during the
wala
debate?
namang, hindi naman, interpellation lang naman.
No, I
kami.
know.
Yeah.
Pero sino ho yung umangat doon? If it was a bill, kanino ho?
Syempre, angat siya ron kasi, na-prove niya yung thesis niya, di ba? Na okay naman hindi naman ako adversarial. Pero, syempre, kailangan malaman ko yung detalye na kanya sinasabi.
All right. So you didn't ask for it. Did you always aspire to be Justice Secretary?
No.
No.
No, but, every lawyer's dream is to get here, to get to that place called the Department of Justice. Every lawyer's dream. Probably 99% of the lawyers wouldn't mind if that was offered to them. But, maybe
So,
my
it was-
training just was really meant for me to go to this place somehow, because many of the problems facing the department now were brought to us before already in the PMS.
Under
And,
ERAP's term.
under
So just to
ERAP's term.
refresh the memory of
Yes,
the audience,
yes,
the
yes.
public, you were part of former President Joseph
I was
Estrada.
Assistant Secretary for Legal Affairs of the PMS for 30 months, and I was an informal executive assistant of the President at that time.
Informal executive.
Yes, I was never appointed
see.
executive assistant because I already had a rank in PMS as Assistant Secretary.
So the transition will be very easy for you, because I was going to ask you, the transition from the legislative branch of government to the executive, because it's something that you have had experience with. So sabi mo nga, it would be any lawyer's dream to head the department, but you said something. Sabi niyo po kahapon, the justice system has a lot of problems.
Yes.
What's the one, or siguro sabihin na natin, sir, 3 things you'd like to fix immediately?
Number one, we implement the National Criminal Justice Information System. Yan kasi, lahat ng cases sa courts, criminal cases sa courts, lahat ng cases sa NBI, lahat ng cases sa immigration, lahat ng mga problema na may criminal element involved will become integrated into a database na available sa lahat. Right now, yung mga job seekers, kailangan ko, pipila ka sa NBI para sa clearance. Pipila ka sa munisipyo, police clearance. Pipila ka sa court clearance. Pwede na ma-integrate yan Di ba? And it makes it easier for the country. Like with the technology now, with facial recognition, it would be so much easier. Hanggang BID, wala makakalabas ng bansa pagkakumpleto ang ating database. Pero there was resistance. And you know why? There are fees charged by the agencies for this. And
Every agency.
Every agency charges fees for this. And nakakaawa yung kababayan natin.
And so how soon do you think you can do this?
If this is approved, my proposal is approved, and I think we can fix this within a year's time.
Okay. Number 2, sir.
Well,
Maraming problema ang justice
marami,
system.
marami, no?
Ano yung number 2 na gusto niyo pong ayusin kaagad? Or kaya ninyong ayusin
yung
kaagad?
yung isang problema rin kasi, kasi justice delayed is justice denied, reklamo sa Department of Justice, yung data tracking system, para lahat ng sulat na papasok sa departamento ay talagang nakasaad. We will put there what time it was received, where it was referred to, what office it was referred to, at what day, so that by the time somebody follows up, if it has sat there for a certain amount of time, alam mo, inuupuan, may problema tayo. So we will attribute responsibility to every member of the DOJ for the jobs they're doing.
And what would be a time frame that you would say inupuan po yung reklamo?
Depende naman.
Depende
in
sa
fairness,
gravity din ng ano.
sa bigat ng problema na hinahawakan. Sabihin natin na if it's a... Ano yan? Relative yan Depende talaga sa bigat as lawyers. Diba?
Number 3, one more. Is there something else you can share that you'd like to fix right
Audit
away?
ng ating, ng ating lahat ng detention prisoners, lahat na nakakulong. Sana naman meron silang identity na malinaw sa lahat ng mga kulungan para alam natin kung ano ang krimen, ano ang sentensya, kung napakatagal lang sila nakakulong, hindi pa lumalabas. Hindi bago to. This has been done before, but we have to do it again, over and over again, because...
Well, that's definitely one way to decongest the jails that are very, very crowded and inhumane conditions over there, sir.
Tsaka yung Board of Pardons and Parole, para mas mabilis ang proseso. Kasi power of the president yan to pardon. Kung pwede na talagang patawarin na, nagbayad na ng kanyang pagkakautang sa lipunan, pakawalan na at hayaan natin mabuhay na muli na maayos.
Nakakalimutan ko yung marami sa kanila rather, pending ang kaso, hindi nabibigyan ng pansin, and they continue to rot in the city jails.
And ang problema dyan, minsan sa prosecution service, tsaka sa courts, postponements. Some lawyers have a habit of postponing cases very regularly. Some judges take their time on things, sit on things. Parang minsan very insensitive na. Kaya dapat pati yung database niyang kompleto so that the Supreme Court and the Department of Justice has to work closely on this para talagang in sync ang trabaho ng dalawa. Tsaka yung law enforcers, yung mga testigo na nawawala, na nadidelay, dapat yan kasama sila.
Yung number 3 ninyo is somehow related to number 2, the justice delayed, justice denied issue. All right, again, we just need to take a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our source today, Congressman Boying Remulla, soon to be Secretary. Let's clarify this, something we talked about, sir. Kailan ba kayo magiging SOJ?
After confirmation. Kasi nga nagkaroon ng kaso dati where a congressman who was nominated to the cabinet resigned his post before confirmation, and then he was bypassed by the Commission on Appointments. So his district lost a representative. We're talking about Butchabad sa Batanes.
So anong plano nyo ngayon?
Well,
you will sit as congressman until you're appointed? Ganun ho ba yun? Until you're confirmed?
Yes, that will be my job to sit as congressman muna, di ba?
Okay.
And then, the department naman can have an OIC who will sign for them. Wala pa namang urgent Na, kung may urgent naman, may paraan yan na instructions will be asked for of me. Ang tawag dyan, de facto and de jure. I will be de facto secretary and de jure only after.
And you can be a de facto secretary and a congressman at the same time?
Well, because it's the president's desire, I'll be holding on to my job until I am confirmed. Yun talaga
well, are you worried that you might not be...
Hindi naman. But ano lang yan, we're just making sure. Naging tradition na yan. Naging practice na yan.
May iwan talaga sa posisyon.
Naiiwan mo na sa posisyon.
Ma-confirm ka ng the powerful Commission on Appointments.
Yes.
But do you think you're going to have a problem with the Senate and the House?
You never know. Basta sa akin, I'm confident naman. Traditionally, we really confirm fellow legislators.
But more or less, when do you think you'll sit as SOJ, Secretary of Justice?
Ano yan after the State of the Nation address, we go into regular session. We already have elected the Speaker, but we will elect the Commission on Appointments. So they will organize, and probably it will take them around 20 days to organize after that. Kasi may opisina yan, secretariat, officers, and then they will start the confirmation process. So August pa.
August,
yes.
Na magiging kayo talaga.
Magiging formally.
Hindi na kayo de facto.
Yes.
All right, okay. Issues that I'd like to discuss with you. You said you haven't met with Secretary Guevara just yet. When do you plan to do this?
Very soon. My incoming Chief of Staff is arranging a briefing.
Who is your incoming Chief of Staff?
He's still a Chief of Staff right now at the DFA. The Chief of Staff of Teddy Boy Locsin. Attorney Brigido Dulay will be my Chief of Staff.
Okay.
Yes.
So he will move to you.
Yes.
Okay. So you have a team already? Can you,
yes,
is it okay to share that? Sabi mo kanina, meron ka ng...
Well, I already asked two former USECs there. One former USEC there, and a practicing lawyer who used to work with Vice President Noli De Castro, and a very good lawyer, Attorney Jesse Andres, will be with us.
Yes, okay. Kay kabayan nga yun before,
Yes,
si Attorney
yes.
Andres.
Pero
Okay.
meron pang iba. Meron pang iba.
Okay, so while you're forming that, there's so much agencies that are part of the DOJ attached, or I don't really know the right word to call it, but you have the NBI, you have the Bureau of Immigration. Please correct me if I'm wrong, sir, ha? May Bureau of Corrections po kayo, Board of Pardons and Parole, Office of the Government Corporate Counsel,
Yes.
and Land Registration Authority.
Yes.
If you were to look into these agencies or units at that, which ones do you think ang kailangan nyo ho talagang tutukan?
Kailangan palakasin ng NBI. We have to strengthen the NBI because of the problems of our country. Let's cite a specific problem, no? Child pornography. Or pornography itself that is centered in the Philippines. Mabigat na problema dyan. I was briefed by somebody who used to work at DSWD about how bad it is here right now. And I asked somebody from BID about it. They know these guys. So, what's happening? Dapat talaga unahin na natin yan. Talagang we have to erase that from this country. Dapat mawala talaga yan.
At malapit po yun sa puso ninyo?
Malapit sa puso ko yan.
Okay. What about, let's say, the Bureau of Immigration, yung Pastilla scam, alam naman po natin, 42
ang
personnel.
immigration kasi is a sovereign function. In fact, every immigration agent is like a soldier who defends his country. Di ba? Territorial bounds yan eh. We have to remind them of that. Sa akin, as simple as, very minor, give them a training that they're physically fit, make them look good in uniform, put a Philippine flag on their chest, put their names there, put CCTV cameras, so that and put handcuffs on their waists to show that they are persons in authority. They have to know that they are there to serve the Republic in a sovereign capacity.
And what effect would that have on them?
Morale will be good because the prestige will go up. To wear that uniform will be a badge of honor.
Okay.
I want that to happen.
But what about concerns doon po sa some members of the Bureau of Immigration? Let's call it as it is, yung sa Pastilla scam, di ho ba?
Yes.
Even the President was saying that I think 42 immigration officers were relieved
Yes.
from their posts because
Yes.
of that. How will you stop such activities?
Ano yan eh? Overtime pay talaga ang problema dyan eh. It's the biggest issue in the immigration department ever since. 90% of them will probably not anymore indulge in this kalokohan if things were run better.
Run better or paid better?
Paid
Run and
better. Paid better or run better in terms of resources being distributed to them. Imagine, the airlines all pay overtime. They're working at 4 o'clock in the morning. Itong airlines, mga kilala nila, alam nila, okay lang. Sila, wala. Nakatunga nga, di ba?
Okay.
Ayusin natin yan.
All right.
Ayusin natin yan.
I still have a lot of questions. I have 2 minutes left. Member of the Anti-Terror Council, you'll have the power to designate individuals as terrorists. And this could cause a problem or a concern for some people. I just want to go back very quickly to the rally last March 4, yung kay Vice President Leni Robredo. Sinabi niyo nga po, bayaran yung mga yon. At well, you red tagged some of them. Is that something?
Alam mo, red tagging, Pinky, I have to explain to you, no? Alam mo, ang rebellion, ang terrorism, kagaya niyan, designated na ang NPA. Pagka, alam mo, ang crime, merong principal, may accomplice, may accessory, may varying degrees of responsibility. At probably hindi nila alam na pag sila nakipagsimpatsya sa mga rebelde na terorista, ay criminal activity na ginagawa nila.
Ano yun?
Mga
Accessory po
kabataan,
sila?
Accessory, or di ba? Or depende sa sa brainwashing ng mangyayari eh. Nagre-recruit sila sa mga eskwelahan eh. That's why I had to stop the UP security bill. Dapat dyan, walang safe haven ng NPA. Dapat mawala talaga yan sa atin.
But then, I still want to go back to my question, sir. Kasi naalala, ito, I quoted it here. I saw it with my own eyes kung paano sila bumaba ng jeep, yung kanilang uniforme, mga bandila na dala nila, mass manufactured na yan. Tactic po ng NDF yan. Okay.
Yes.
So again, my question, would you be more careful now that you are, well, soon to be DOJ
Of course,
chief?
of course. I will have to be more reserved about many of these things, but I've always been outspoken. It will be a hard habit to break. On radio, I have no filter when I'm there with Attorney Dulay and JV. Wala kaming filter doon. But maybe we will have to tone down a little on that and just convert it to action na lang. Hindi na ako magsasalita. Gagawin ko na lang.
Last question, sir. I have 1 minute left. Laila De Lima, are you open, as DOJ Secretary, will you be open to review her cases?
Of course.
3 individuals have already recanted.
That's already, that's already a cause of concern. That is a red flag that there is something wrong. Eh, syempre, nung nabasa ko pa lang yan, sabi ko, magiging problema ko yan, pag-aaralan ko yan. So we will study it. Pag-aaralan natin.
You're open to reviewing it,
Of
is
course,
what you're
of course,
saying.
of course.
But what are your
Wala pa naman
thoughts?
siyang conviction eh.
Opo.
Diba? Oo.
Well, 3 cases, 1 has been dismissed. There are 2 pending cases in court. But what are your thoughts on this? That they have recanted. This is a story, not just of Senator Laila De Lima, but oftentimes this has happened. May mag-testify sa korte, may magte-testify sa Senado o kahit sa Kongreso, tapos mamaya po i-recant. And then dito din po kasi pumapasok yung Witness Protection Program under the DOJ,
Yes,
hindi ho ba?
yes, yes.
Paano niyo ho kaya sisiguraduhin na yung mga maipapasok sa Witness Protection Program ay nagsasabi ng totoo at hindi lamang pinapressure to be able to side a particular siguro narrative?
That's the job of the prosecutors to justify a person's being put under the Witness Protection Program. Resources ng gobyerno yan ang gagamitin. Very extraordinary privileges na ibibigay. Kailangan i-review muna yan, i-vet yan bago sila ipasok sa Witness Protection Program. Dapat mas may ingat tayo. Pero, Pinky, it doesn't mean that if they recanted, that they were not telling the truth in the beginning. In all jurisprudence, the recantations are frowned upon by the courts.
Frowned upon.
Yes.
Last question. Sorry. Ito na. CHR. What kind of relationship do you think you will have with the Commission on Human Rights?
I have no problem with the Commission on Human Rights. Chito Gascon was a good friend. I mean, we went to school together. Siyempre, we have different views about many things. But I don't see any problem kasi I respect our Constitution. Diba? The Bill of Rights is very important. So, it's just a warning to everybody. Siyempre, na pagdating ng panahon, kahit sino ka man, pag human rights ang involved, may problema ka. Diba?
Okay. I wish we had more time, but I know you're off to Congress as well for the canvassing of votes. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, Congressman Boying Remulla.
Thank you, thank you.
At good luck po sa inyong magiging bagong papel as Secretary of Justice.
Salamat, salamat.
And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.